Okay, are we going to talk about roundabouts today?
Sure, let's talk about roundabouts.
Okay.
What do you want to
How
know?
long? Well, I want to know how long, well, when, at what age were you introduced to the roundabout? Because that thing makes me crazy.
Are you
People,
serious?
yeah, people love them or hate them. I don't like them. Your turn.
Okay. There's a couple roundabouts in Wisconsin, not a lot. I don't remember when I was introduced, but when I came to New Zealand and learned to drive on the left side of the road, there's roundabouts everywhere. It's like driving roundabout, driving roundabout. That's how close they are. Driving, I mean, they're everywhere.
Wow.
And they
Do you have,
actually really help you learn to drive on the left side of the road
okay. Well,
because the
first of
traffic
all,
just keeps moving. It keeps moving. There's no such thing as a four-way stop here. There's no such thing. It's only a roundabout. So everything keeps moving. It's brilliant.
that is, so you don't ever have to stop. But here's my problem. So, as you're driving on the left side of the road, does your brain ever do this? Because, okay, if you grew up in New Zealand, the left side of the road makes sense to you. When you don't, you grow up in the US and the right side of the road makes sense to you. And then you go and move to another country.
Right.
Here's what would happen to me. I would be on the left side of the road, and all of a sudden my brain would be like, wait a second. Am I on the correct side of the road? Am I doing this right? Oh my dear Lord. I don't think,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
I would cause an accident.
And I would
That would
say,
happen.
yes. And I would say you always have those moments and they happen when you're tired or, when your
That
brain is
makes
not
sense.
working,
Yeah.
and you go into autopilot. And so for some of us, that just goes right into the right side. And so I always notice that when that happens to me, I just say left side, left side, left side, left side. I just say it
Well,
out
that's
loud or in my head because it helps. It doesn't happen really anymore. But in the beginning, it was like, okay, left side. When I'm feeling like, okay, I haven't had a coffee yet. I'm driving you to school.
yes,
Okay, left side, left side, left side. Just
yes,
and
yeah.
you just go slow. Just go slow. And if you're ever not sure, I mean, you come up and you pull into a roundabout and you stop and you look. So like you just
Yes,
take a moment and okay, where am I? I'm on the left side. But sometimes it throws me. Sometimes when you're entering a highway or going off and they have these weird turns, and sometimes it just throws me into I don't know what I'm doing.
look at it wrong when you're driving. Like, you know how the lanes, it's like all of a sudden you've got like three lanes, and then all of a sudden this lane goes up over here. I forget which lane I'm supposed to be in. I'm like, listen,
Yeah.
now the lines just crossed, and I'm a visual learner, and I'm like, am I going straight or left? Which thing I'm gonna tick off somebody. It's hard for me, but I'm working it out.
So what's interesting is when I go back to the States, it takes, I take a little minute like, oh, I got to go onto the right side now. But it helps because you're on the other side of the car. You're sitting on the other side of the car, like your steering wheel is on the other side. So that helps.
Yes.
And we're able to drive, pretty well in the US. Like it just is easy to switch back. But yeah, the only times that I've messed up is when I snuck out to get coffee and I haven't had coffee yet. Like literally I've pulled out and I'm on the left side of the road and the oncoming traffic is like, at 7 a.m. And I'm like, oh, I'm in the wrong country, because I've only been here back for 3 days. So sorry.
Yes. Sorry.
So the problem is like, yeah, like your mind doesn't know which, hey, you just kind of go into those mental things that
Yes.
and like sometimes you have to like mentally, it's hard sometimes when I come back. But what's also hard, and this is something that I don't think a lot of people have thought about, is that because I've moved to New Zealand, I've moved back to the US, I've moved back to New Zealand, I've sold my stuff 3 times over. And so when I go to make something, like bake something or cook something, or sometimes just do something, and I think, oh yeah, I got all the stuff for that. Then I don't. Then I'm like, oh, what country was that in? Oh, did I sell that? Did I not bring that with me? I can't tell you how many times that's happened to me. I'm like, where is this pan? Oh, I don't have it.
Left it in
So
America.
yeah, like I
Okay.
got all the stuff and now I'm getting all the kids excited we're gonna do something and then it's so weird. It still happens to me. Like, oh, I thought I had this mixer or this,
Yeah.
oh, I don't.
Okay.
I don't have
Did
this.
you have to downsize totally? Like, I don't think I know this story. Did you get rid of everything when you moved from Milwaukee to New Zealand?
So when we moved the first time, our intention was to stay for 2 years, which is what we did.
Yeah.
And we got rid of almost everything. Like we sold all our furniture, cars, that sort of thing, like the big stuff.
Wow.
And then you know, like you have the box you grew up with and like all the kids' memories. Like we had a rental property, so we just kind of blocked off a portion of that garage so that we didn't have to like
Oh,
pay for a rental space, and we just put it all in there. And then
awesome.
when we moved back, we pulled it all out, went through it, kept whatever we wanted, and then yeah, so then when we moved back again, but then when we were here the first time, you know, we just kind of borrowed stuff or bought stuff really cheap, and then we just sold it all. I literally gave it to a family who had a lot of kids, and I'm just like, you know, give me $500, you can have all these beds, all these couches, all this kitchenware, and just gave it to them, and that was great. And so it worked out for them, worked out for me, just, you know, one easy
Yeah.
thing. And then yeah, and then when I was moving back again here, then it was like we shipped some stuff. Like we actually shipped a fourth of a container, which was like I wanted to bring my own you know, pictures or
Oh,
like
yeah.
things that are just like part of you, of your
Yeah.
family. I brought a lot of things. We just decided to say, hey, let's just bring what we actually want to bring, and not because my husband's company paid for us to come over. So
Okay.
it was paid for, but I wouldn't do it again. I
Really?
literally almost everything I brought was I don't use.
You are kidding.
Yeah, I'm really frustrated with that. I could have pocketed $1,000 or something, you know. I was like, no, like, yes, because I brought like my big KitchenAid mixer, sold it. It's too heavy. It uses so I had to use a step down converter because of the voltage differences. It just was, I'm not using it. The mixers here are really nice, and I could get one reasonable price, you know.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, like I just, everything you know, like it's nice to have some of my pictures. Some of the things were nice, but still, overall, I've done
Yeah.
it both ways. I've sold everything and moved, and I've shipped stuff and moved, and I would not ship stuff second time. That's my advice to all of you thinking about moving here or moving overseas anywhere.
Yes.
So
Don't
it
ship.
just depends on personality. I mean, some people are really tied to their things. I guess I'm just not. So
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Do you guys do this then? So we do garage sales when we want to get rid of stuff because you're still trying to make some kind of money, but you're it is so much work, can I just tell you? Anyway, do you guys do garage sales? Is that a thing?
for every one of our moves, we did garage sales. But let me just give everybody a clue. Facebook Marketplace is where you do everything. That's where I
Oh,
sold everything. And it was
okay.
much more worth my time than doing the garage sale, you know, getting everything set out and only like
Yes.
a small portion sells. And the Facebook Marketplace is just, you know to expect that some people don't show up or some deals don't walk through, but I've never had a bad experience. Honestly, I've never had a bad experience. So my last move, I made $2,500 just selling everything on
Nice.
Facebook Marketplace. You know,
Okay.
and here when I moved, sold all my stuff here, it's just a lot of money. And the way that I do it is I set people up. If you want this, you have to come get it when it's convenient for me because I'm trying to move. You know, so everybody's always trying
Yes.
to run around and work. Now, here's the thing, this is a price, I'm gonna give you an amazing deal, you got to come move it by tomorrow, like that, like
Okay.
you just do it like that and it works. So
Okay.
work within the schedule that works for you. So you say I
Okay.
don't want to be bothered with this and I don't want to write, so don't do it
Don't.
the way that works for you, and you know what's the most convenient for you, and then that's what I do. I pretty much
Okay.
buy everything and sell everything on Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, that's smart. Okay. I currently have something sitting on my porch. It's been there for 2 weeks. So should I just go ahead and resell it to someone else? Is that what you're
Yes.
saying?
Yeah. So what's nice about the US Facebook marketplace is that they're much more regulated, and that there's, expectations of showing up, and if you don't, it goes to the next person. Whereas in
Okay.
New Zealand, they're a little bit nicer and they think, oh, sure, I'll meet you, or oh, sure, you can wait
Oh,
until next week. But no, no, no. They're a little bit more like, this is the process. If you miss it, goes to the next person. Yeah.
yes.
And you
Okay.
just, yeah, you put it out in a box outside on your porch so you don't have to see them. They don't have to see you. It's all, do whatever you need to do. That's what I do.
Okay.
Look at it.
Oh, that's awesome. All right. Now I know what to do when I move to New Zealand. So
You have a
great.
place to stay.
I know. Well, yeah, your poor husband will have to find another room.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll be like, "Are you guys still talking?" Yes, we're still talking. Okay.
We
My
would
mom,
have so much fun. It's ridiculous. I would get nothing done, like literally nothing done.
oh, no, you wouldn't. I would have a great time helping you get nothing done. For sure. My mom came over the other day and she goes, "Oh my gosh, you have to watch this show on Netflix called Organize It." Okay. She said, "That is you and Tara 20 years ago, except you two are on steroids. They're a little calmer." She said, "You two used to," she goes, "Do you remember this?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "You guys would talk on top of each other and you would be constant." She's like, you, Tara would say something, you'd be like, "Oh, girl, yeah, I know." And then Tara would be like, "Yeah, but what I was saying was, is this," and I would, my mom said it was like, it was just a lot. It was a lot and it was so fun. Hey, well, you have to go now. You have to go to work.
It's Saturday.
Oh,
No, I do. I have to take my daughter to tennis, start running all the kids around.
so
So,
Saturdays are sports days in New Zealand?
yeah, because you have to go home after school and have dinner with your family and have a easy night during the
Okay.
week.
I love you guys. All right.